So here are the Pot Dahlias which we started 19 days ago on a video, and you can see how quickly they've put up shoots, and today we'll be removing some of those shoots and get them planted up. Whilst these were growing up, I did a few stills which I'll put up on screen. Interesting just to see how they develop. You'll notice there's 1, 2, 3 tubers yet to put out a shoot. They can take quite a long time, sometimes a month later before you see shoots coming. But the vast majority of these, once you put them in the warmth and give them some water, they will shoot pretty quickly. So shoots first appeared after about 6 days on these, and you can see how well they've developed in only 19 days. Dahlias are really quite easy to propagate. The cuttings take and root very easily. For me, I think it's important to get prepared before starting out, so I have everything ready. Once you've taken a cutting, and this is true of any cutting, once you've removed it from the parent plant, it begins to die from that second onwards, and therefore speed is of the essence, and the quicker you can get your cutting prepared and into soil, the better. The more likely it is to take well. So I've got here I'm going to take 4 cuttings on this occasion. So I've got my 4 pots ready. I've got some rooting powder, that's to talk about because dahlias don't really require rooting powder, but I thought we'd talk about it. I've got my labels ready. I've got some horticultural grit ready there. The more clean and sterile the area is where you're going to prepare your cutting, the better. And it is important, particularly with dahlias, which are prone to viral infection, to sterilize your instruments as you go along. So I'll show you how I do that. I use Dettol wipes for convenience. That's benzalkonium, which is a disinfectant. You can use pure alcohol, or you can use hydrogen peroxide. But it is important to, each time you've touched one plant, particularly with your blade, to sterilize that blade before you touch another plant. Reason being, if there is a virus in one of the plants, then you will transfer it to each of the cuttings that you take. So best practice there. A word about rooting powder and how to use it. It stimulates growth of the roots, and some plants do very well with it, and others don't require it. I don't think dahlias really require it. The best practice is to pour some of the, if you're using powder or liquid, is to pour some of the powder out into a receptacle. So I'm going to use this to put the powder onto the base of the cutting, and then having done so, I will then throw the remainder away. Reason being that once you touch that area, viruses again, if there's a virus present in one of your cuttings, it will transfer to each and every cutting that you do from then on. Most people, I'm afraid, will take a cutting and will put it into the receptacle with the rooting powder in. You can see what's happening there. You're infecting the whole of this rooting powder from that moment on, and therefore forevermore, if you're unlucky enough to have a virus, there's a good chance that that virus will be propagated to all future cuttings. We'll start with this one. The idea is to take the cutting and include, if possible, a little bit of the tuber, which gives the best chance of rooting. So with my sterilised blade, I'm going to carefully cut across just below where the shoot enters or leaves the tuber, and there we have our cutting. And to prepare it is very simple. I'm just going to sterilise my blade. You would remove some of the lower leaves. If it needs a bit of clean up around where you've taken it from the tuber, then do so. Sometimes you can remove these little bits of collars. That we need a certain length in order to go into the medium, and that's about right. If you're going to use rooting powder, like so, and then straight into the medium. Label up. And straight into water. The next cutting. I'm not going to use rooting powder anymore. I don't usually use it. It's just to show you. Could be just a little deeper. Into water and label. Kill them all. Sterilize. This is the last one we'll take today. There are 3 cuttings here, there are 3 shoots here, and we're going to take the middle one, trying not to damage the others. There. Same again. I just remove that leaf for the same reasons as before. So here's our cuttings. I'm happy with them all except this. I think there's a little bit too much leaf on this still, so I'm just going to take one small piece of leaf away. And now we're all ready. Last little job is to put some horticultural grit We wouldn't perhaps do this if we were doing a large number of cuttings. They'll be okay as they are, but the purpose for the grit is to seal the surface to stop evaporation, slow it down, and it does reflect some light. Because it's light in colour, it does reflect some light, so that the plant will receive more light as a result. It's a bit fiddly, but and also I think gives a nice appearance. We're going to put these 4 cuttings now onto heat, 20 degrees centigrade, so that to help root development, and they're ready. The tube is back in place on the propagator. So that's the way we protect from another visit from those mice.